Well, yes, we are finally back with both of our long-term stories. And as I said yesterday in the intro to the head coach video, which if you haven't seen it is up in the eye above, thank you for your well wishes and your patience over the last couple of weeks. The voice is mainly back. My energy's definitely back. And we've had a very dodgy September with Southend United. Thankfully, it's been followed by a spectacular October. We're going to hope to finish it in style today in a big Premier League game, as it might determine the race for Europe in the Premier League this year. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 74 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are competing for the first time in European football this season, and for the first time today, we're going to see a game from the Europa League on camera. It started pretty much as expected. We'll be hosting Turkish side Besiktas later on. They're a very experienced side, but we'll get to that a bit later. First, we've got a big game against Jose Mourinho's Aston Villa. 5th v 9th with 2 points separating us, and it could be crucial in that battle around 7th and 8th this year, as we saw it was towards the end of last season. We got a few players out, but we're fighting well, so if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in this one, and just happy to have the series back like I am, I've been itching to get going for the whole week, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. But now though, let's start by having a look at the schedule, and it was a tale of two very different months. If we start by having a look at the schedule since you were last with me, you joined me for that 2-0 Carabao Cup defeat and deadline day, as we brought in the likes of Joel Linton, a very experienced player, and a young Brazilian defender, a centre-half as well. It was followed by a difficult and pretty dismal September on the pitch before a remarkable October so far. Let's start though with the disappointment as we went away to our former head coach club Bournemouth and drew 1-1 at the start of the month. Teddy Ivanov got an equaliser, but we were fortunate to get a draw. It wasn't a good display. We took a risk and rested people against Benfica. We were battered. We were already 2-0 down when we gave away a free kick and Asensio got a red card. They scored from that to make it 3. It was game over before then, though. We did bounce back, thankfully, at home to Twente, where we went a lot stronger. You see Teddy Ivanov started and scored. Rasmus Jensen got a late brace off the bench. Otherwise, it could have been more frustration. Before we were battered at City 4-0, Erling Haaland still doing a business for them. But into October, a tough run of games I was worried about, but our home form is definitely going to be strong this year. We drew 2-2 at home to Liverpool. Yukalano and Joe Wills got a goal apiece. All of the subs struggled to make an impact, but we got the point, which was important. We battered Spurs at home, something we've done a couple of times in this save. Takatsuka with the third after an own goal and Ivanov's opener. He also scored the fourth. But to be fair, Spurs had opened the scoring. We then had to bounce back, and we did so in style. We won 3-1 against Panathinaikos with a big moment for Sanhueza. He got his first goal for the club, and Rasmus Jensen added another brace. They're both looking pretty good at the moment. Joe Hugill had been out, so it was important to see both of them doing well and scoring. And again, a very rotated side that made an impact. Didn't make as much of an impact as this result, though. A massive win from behind away at Chelsea. Our away form has not been great shakes for most of this save, and after going behind late in the first half to Moises Caicedo's goal, for Bernberg, Ivanov and for Valdo Kamara off the bench, all to fire back in the second half, was a really pleasant surprise and a remarkable result, which sees us into the top half and back yet again in the battle for Europe after last season's surprise finish. So now we play against Aston Villa with a chance to go above them if we can win. And then we host Besiktas in the Europa League, who should be pretty easy, to be honest with you. They've got so many experienced players. You can see there, Ballard and Force, 2 of them. When you don't have all of the leagues loaded, we've seen the difference between this save and the head coach. You get a lot more experience in the teams abroad. Now, they've still got some good players, and their league will be loaded from next year, but not quite the same quality we've seen from some of the others, Portugal being one of the examples. So let's go and get through to the first of them today. It's been a really decent couple of months overall, but we have had the odd hammering against the top side. So far though, I think I'm right in saying we're unbeaten at home this season. We've played Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs already, and we've played a couple of games in Europe, so that's not a bad feat. Let's see if we can keep that run going against Jose today. This is the team we're going to go for against the Villa side that are very strong. Cucurella has joined the club. They've still got Kamara, Jacob Ramsey. Their front two always score goals against us. And if you remember last season on the final day, this was a game where we got done by the long throw time and time again. Let's hope we can avoid it today. Through to the team selection we go. We're going to have to make a couple of changes from the last game because you can see Jimenez struggling a bit. So let me go and get this tweet. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, a couple of enforced changes as we've seen, and we have had to rotate the squad a little bit in recent weeks. I might actually make one more change in there for now. We've had to drop out a few because Emir Williams has been injured, Hugo's been struggling. We've also got that knock to him, and as we mentioned, and Adozi's been out as well. So that means we've got a heavy match load to Sam Ammo, a heavy match load to Ivanov. I've made a few changes from the last game based on what the subs did. So Kamara's coming at left back. I brought Fernandes in at centre half anyway. And I've also gone for Alfie Harrison and moved Bernberg over to the other midfield role. That means our 11 in full as a couple just starting to get unhappy about their contractual situation. If I give Joe Wills a new deal now, it will really push the club budget up and take it up like 20 or 30 grand a week for the top player. So I want to be sure we're going to be in another European race before I commit to that. If we drift down the table before the January window, I don't really want to be committing to 60, 70, 80 grand a week for players. So we're just going to give it a couple of months before deciding. For now though, this is the 11 in full for today. It is Caljo between the sticks, Baranda and Kamara the fullbacks with Parker and Fernandes as centre half. Yacolano and Sam Ammo the usual wingers with Harrison in alongside Bernberg. Then up front it is Teddy Ivanov alongside Joe Wills. Both just starting to find their scoring boots now, but not quite prolific as of yet. We've got an unhappy Lucas Daniel on the transfer list by request, going the same way the Martin Cox deal did. But otherwise the bench is strong, it's fit, and it's got a bit of quality too. So let's submit the team for the first game today. Jose Mourinho and Villa. Will they play in the defensive manner we expect? Let's go and find out. Here they go today with 9 changes overall. Must have had a League Cup tie surely. Moise Keane drops out, but they've got experience on the bench. Hugo Ekitike. Alex Humphreys is there, who we tried to sign. He is a really good centre-half. We couldn't quite get him. Christopher Ayer still there as well. But the first 11's good. It's got a mix of youth and experience. We just want to keep up our performance though. We were brilliant second half at Chelsea. Can we produce another home display? Keep the unbeaten run going by any means. It's a game where for the European race we must not lose. A win would be a bonus as Yacolano breaks away early. 2 minutes on the clock. Switches to Sam Ammo. Chance to take his man on down the left. Has support behind from his fullback. Valdo Kamara will be more aggressive than Ishmael on the break. We saw that against Chelsea for sure. And here he is again finding Harrison Parker. Move to the left of the back two because of Williams being injured. Kamara finds Sam Ammo. Lovely turn from him again. Inside to Alfie Harrison and Parker. Great spell of possession this, but what are we going to do with it? Fernandes into Harrison. Support inside. Goes wide to Baranda. Yacolano's down the line. Both strikers in the middle. Yacolano to Wills who hits the post. It's out as far as Kamara. What a move. A minute of possession, then a great chance, and again. But we don't make it count. Cleared away by Coyote, and it stays 0-0. First big chance, though, to Southend United. Well, 17 minutes gone, and as you might expect from a Jose side, they're feeling their way into their game, not being so aggressive. They're in a good shape, as Baranda's got the ball on the right-hand side, over halfway without any real contest. But it's forced back to Fernandes. It's a tough shape to break down. Here is Baranda. On the right-hand side, finds Bernberg and Ivanov. Run from Joe Wills, great touch, away from the defender, brilliant finish. Didn't look like it was right in the corner, but so much power with no backlift that it just shocked the keeper, Perry. The front two combined, we've been the better side and deserved it. And as it stands, we're going above Villa. It's the early kick-off, so we'd be up to 5th without any questions there. But now Bernberg has picked up a twisted knee. And it's not ideal because it's the one position we've not got much cover. My 2 options are a very unhappy Lucas Daniel, who is not in the best of form, or an Asensio, who is a right back and not really a natural midfielder. I think it would be a crime if I didn't bring in the natural centre mid. So Daniel's going to come on. Maybe not as a box-to-box. Do I go centre mid? No, I'm going to stick with it. We're playing well, so let's keep him in the shape. He's unhappy anyway. We're not going to upset him by playing him in a different role anymore. With 5 to half time, that does take a bit of spark out because Bernberg is our best centre midfielder. He'd been on fire. And at half-time, Villa growing into the game on the shot count, but thankfully not producing anything worthy of a highlight just yet. 1-0 up, we keep the fans on side, we keep playing as well as we can, and hopefully we find a way here. But Kyode's got a throw on the right, and since our goal, Villa have looked dangerous according to the match stats. Ramsey's up, it's in. Oh, we've been done by such a poor goal. Ball into the back post, we're beaten in the air. And it's 1-1 just like that. We've lost all of our midfielders, we've drifted away in the game. I'm going to berate the lads because I'm not happy with this response since the break. It just feels like we're throwing away an opportunity. I probably didn't nail the team talk, but still, we're giving away poor chances here. Ramsey's up again. Parker heads up, not away though. Cucurella to Kennedy, turns his man. We've fallen apart at the start of the half. We've lost all control in the midfield since the injury. I'm so annoyed about this. What is happening? Villa are dominating now. Caljo makes the save. I feel like I've got to make changes because we're getting done in there. Fernandez will be replaced by Perez. It's experience. I'm going to take Baranda off for Asensio. And I'm going to take off... I've not really got options elsewhere, have I? I don't really want to take off Valdo Kamara because we wouldn't have any aggressive threat on the left then. But I haven't got much more I can do. And I feel that the combination of the half-time team talk and the injury 10 minutes before has maybe thrown this game away. And now, I'd just be happy to preserve the unbeaten home run by any means. A draw would be good, as Ibanez plays out to Ramsey. This is very aggressive from a Jose team, throwing his fullbacks and his centre midfielders forward. I'm not sure how we're going to cope with this, as Kamara up towards Washington. Kennedy's making a run again. Oh, it's a penalty. I've bought on Nguyen. It's Tim Robinson again. We always have Tim Robinson as the ref, and he gives penalties against us every single time. How has it gone this wrong from the half-time break? We were 1-0 up 18 minutes ago. But now we've run out of centre midfielders. Of course he's given a penalty. And we're about to be 3-1 down. And in an absolute mess. It has gone wrong so quickly. Oh, I've forgotten the pain not playing this for a week or two. As Caljo lets in the penalty, he went the right way. He couldn't do anything about it. Let's encourage the boys. Maybe berating them at 1-1 wasn't the answer. Now what do we do? We've got just over 25 to go. It's a corner kick for Villa. And this could be our biggest hammering of the season if we're not careful. I don't know why it's gone so wrong. But my God, it has. Kamara can't head it clear. Back into the box. Washington to Ibanez deflects in. Keeper was picking it up. Deflects off the defender into the other corner. We've let in 4 goals in 20 minutes. I don't know what to say. I'm going to take Wills off for Hugill just for a rest. I might as well do both the front two. It's game over. Jensen on up front as well. I'm genuinely surprised. Maybe I've forgotten how to play the game. I don't know. It's gone so wrong since half-time. Has that injury made that much of an impact? Was it the team talk? I don't know what went wrong. But we're going to be absolutely hammered in this game. And the great October finishes badly. Despite the fact that half-time we had this game in our hands, we were very comfortable. Maybe I need to have a look at myself after that one. If the injury in midfield is bad, we could be in trouble. Thankfully, Jimenez is almost back. And Besiktas is a game we should rebuild the confidence. But that second half was abysmal. And I didn't really see it coming after our first half performance. Bernberg is out for 4 to 5 days. That's not too bad. So let's just get through the Thursday night. A very surprising second half. Maybe the Mourinho team talk worked for them. Not the best start on our return, is it? Let's get through to the next game against Besiktas, where hopefully we can bounce back at home. Well then, we return on Thursday after that disappointment in the second half against Villa, and we've got a lot of fitness tests to get through here. A few people who are coming back to fitness, Adozie, Williams, who will play some part in the game, probably Sadler in goal as well. We've also got to rest people for the fixtures in the league, because despite that disappointment today, we have got our next 3 games against bottom, second bottom, and 6th bottom Forest, who were poor last year. So it is an opportunity still to have another very good month. I'll be honest with you, I'd be disappointed if we don't go unbeaten in November. So let's go and get through the fixtures and see what team we can put out today. It's going to be all change against an experienced Besiktas. We mentioned this before with the old squads, but the likes of Ozan Kabak. They've also got Carlos Augusto. They've got Brozier up front, plenty of familiar names. But we're going to pick our 11, which will be rotated. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, a couple of different decisions when it comes to fitness today, as we bring back in the two backup players who are returning to fitness, but we leave out Emir Williams, who will come off the bench in this one. We've also thrown on a young left winger onto the bench as well, in addition to a couple of other options in case needed. But this is the team we've gone for. I think only Alfie Harrison started at the weekend. No, and Fernandes. 2 out of the 11 remain. Harrison has now thrown his toys out the pram. He wants more money than anyone else as well. But this is the 11 we've gone for at home to Besiktas. It is Sadler returning in goal. Asensio and Ishmael the fullbacks, with Herbert and Fernandes centre half. Takatsuka and Adozi the two wingers. Harrison and Lucas Daniel the centre midfielders. And then Jensen and Sanhueza up front. Hopefully Jensen can score as he has been so far in this competition. Joe Hugill ineligible, of course, because we didn't have enough spaces in the squad. So let's just go and get through to this one and see how we get on today. Darren Keach, you get a squad number. Maybe you'll get a debut too. Well, a chance to bounce back and cheer ourselves up. And one thing that is confusing me, while the Turkish league isn't loaded, they've got a lot more than 17 players. So why they've not got them in the squad, I have no idea. We've obviously got a full bench, but we've seen this issue before. Let's go and get through to the first half. I expect to see more, and hopefully we're going to get it. Thursday night football under the lights in Southend. And fingers crossed, 3 points, which will put us pretty close to qualification if we can win 3 out of our first 4. As we return with a throw on the right for Besiktas, Ozan Kabak picks it up. It's inside and nicked by Takatsuka. Good play. Jensen running to his left. He's got 3 in support. Adozi is one of them. Gives it to him on the left. Chance to cross, cuts inside. Good ball to Jensen. Was he onside? The referee's hand goes up. The flag, I'm not sure. We can't see it from this angle. Will VAR let it stand? Let's find out. Goal awarded. Jensen is flying in the Europa League. He may well end up being top scorer in this competition, as it's a Besiktas free kick straight after. Back into danger with Armando Brozier. And he heads over the bar. I would expect them to tire because, as we've mentioned, virtually 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of their squad is over 30. As Ishmael finds Adozi and now Herbert, the youngster. Really doing well in this competition so far as he finds Fernandes. And now Lucas Daniel. Out to the right to Asensio. Support down the line from Takatsuka, but he actually cuts inside, makes space. Asensio crosses, Jensen's up. Loses the header, is cleared away. Big ball downfield, but Asensio there again. And Fernandes can restart the attack on halfway as we continue to dominate. Lucas Daniel to his fellow Brazilian. Back to Daniel again. Takatsuka inside. Jensen 1-2 with Sanhueza. Scored his first for the club last month. And has got his second now. That is onside, I'm telling you. The right back played him on. And this is going to be a very comfortable win. Oh no, it's disallowed. I was so sure that was onside. We stay 1-0 up though, we've dominated the game, and so far it's been a good 20 minutes as Lucas Daniel on the ball again for Takatsuka. Back to Ishmael on the left, support down the line, goes alone instead though. Ishmael to cross it, Sanhueza's at the back post, and he heads it in. You're not denying him this time. A good header, not the best goalkeeping in the world, it must be said, but 2-0 with 20 gone. We've been fortunate with the way our fixtures have fallen. Yes, Benfica was a batter in a way, but to have 2 really tough away games and then loads of winnable home ones is definitely the way round you want it. As Daniel finds Adozi on the left. Chance to break forward, but it's intercepted well. And now they can play out from the back here. It's a Junior Anana. Covers it forward, over halfway. Has support from 2 strikers, but Harrison does really well there. Finds Ishmael and now Lucas Daniel. He's having a good game so far. The Jensen. Support from Adozi. Up there is Sanhueza, but Adozi goes alone. First goal of the season, back from injury. And it's game over. 3-0. We can enjoy this one a bit more than the Villa match. The perfect antidote, the perfect recovery. Now we can turn our eyes to Brentford at the weekend. As Takatsuka with a free kick again. Little routine here. 1-2 with Daniel. Chance to shoot Takatsuka. Takes on his man. Forced wide. Good ball across. Dealt with well. Alper away. Have we left ourselves exposed on the break here? No, we've got plenty back. That's a poor ball. Takazuka does well. This could be a mauling if they're not careful. I know we've won our game so far, but generally they've been a bit closer. Adozi picks this one up, shoots for 4. I know the Turkish sides generally don't travel well, but this has been the worst performance of any side we've faced so far. Twente gave us a game, that league's loaded. But even Panathinaikos gave us a good one too. Here, Besiktas have been feeble to say the least, as Lucas Daniel gives the ball away on cue. Chance for them to come forward, but they shoot pretty optimistically from distance. With half an hour gone, this has been an absolute dream so far. Sadler playing out from the back for Asensio. Down the right he goes. The youngster will get a debut the way we're going off the bench. Asensio back inside to Harrison. Time in possession for Asensio again. Switch of play, a little bit taking a liberty there. But Herbert does well with it, finds Ishmael. Thought he was just getting a bit arrogant playing across his own goal. Takatsuka on the right though. Skins his fullback, chance to cross. Goes back instead to Lucas Daniel. Nice ball for Harrison. 25 yards out, takes on his man, shots in. Good goalkeeping this time. 4-0 it remains. 4 shots on target. I mean, it's not been that dominant. Our expected goals are less than 1. We've taken all of our chances. We've been ruthless for once. And at half-time, I think we would say this is game over. 4-0 Southend, a brilliant performance. And now a chance to rest a few people. I'm going to give Adozi 10 more minutes, but I will take him off first. And then I'll also get a game to Emir Williams, who needs some minutes. And hopefully a couple of others too, as we've got a corner with Harrison on the right-hand side. Left-footed in-swinger to come. Towards Fernandez and Herbert. And he now gets his first goal for the club as well. A lovely moment for him. I really hope he reaches his potential. He looks a star potentially. But with 50 on the clock, this has been our easiest game of the season by a long, long way. Ishmael plays Jensen in, loses the ball. And Kabak forced towards his own goal. Chipped away by Besiktas. Well won. Broja knocks it down. And now can they string a counter-attack together? No, they can't. Jensen's back to win it. Daniel's through ball is poor though. He's still not had a great game. Asensio wins it back for him. Spares his blushes. Jensen, poor touch. Just feels like we're trying to do a few things a bit too cleverly now. Maybe we need to make a couple of changes, shake things up. Here is Anana. Good challenge from Adozi. Don't get injured now, son. Into Ishmael and Jensen. Turns on his right foot. Ball out wide to Takatsuka with acres of space. Finds Lucas Daniel. Now Adozi. In again for his hat-trick. Sam Adozi with 3. That is the perfect time to bring him off. Sam Adozi, what a return from injury. He'll be replaced by the youngster Darren Keach. Jensen's on a yellow card, so I'm not going to take a risk for too long. He'll be off in 5 minutes or so. I'm also going to take off. I'm thinking Cameron Ishmael maybe, but he's not played that many minutes. So I'm going to take off Fernandez, who started at the weekend. Emir Williams on. Herbert will switch sides. And we'll leave it at those two for now. Building fitness for Williams, giving a debut to an academy player. He has got big potential, but he's a striker who can't finish. For now, it'll do a job over on the left. 35 to go. It's 6-0. And this is now the perfect antidote. I mean, our expected goals is not much higher than the Villa game, but the defensive effort from our visitors has been pathetic. As Herbert heads another one over, we'll give it 5 more. Then we'll make a couple of changes. We're just over 20 minutes to go. It's really petering out now. So we're going to take Asensio off at right back and bring on maybe Baranda, maybe Perez. He doesn't get that much football. Surely one of them can play right back a bit. I genuinely don't think they can actually. We're going to leave Perez out there though regardless. He'll be fine. We're also going to take off Alfie Harrison for Jimenez. He needs to build his fitness up a little as well. And we'll take off Jensen on that yellow card. We'll bring on Joe Wills. He very rarely does 90 minutes, so he should be fine physically. 20 minutes to go. We're comfortable for now. And we're playing out from the back again with Sadler to Perez and Herbert. Perez out of position at right back this time, but he'll be all right. Jimenez can go back to him. Here he is. Doesn't look happy in terms of his morale. Out of position, but he'll be all right. Why are you complaining? You're on in a 6-0 lead. You've got no pressure on you. Jimenez carrying it forward, going alone. Into the box, 2 in the middle. Joe Wills is 1. Always good to keep your main strikers in form. To come off the bench and nick a goal. Very happy with that. 7-0. The biggest result of the season. and a very emphatic response to our weekend performance and second half result. We have absolutely battered Besiktas, and for the first time we've looked exceptional in the Europa League. That looks a very soft penalty. I mean, given the one that was against us on Sunday, I shouldn't complain. It's a chance for us to get level, but I wouldn't be happy if I was their manager. It's been awarded though. Now who's taking it? It was Keach who won it. Said it looked like a dive from the youngster. What a way to start your career at the club. Joe Will steps up for a second of the day. Just goes down the middle. Cool as a cucumber. 7th of the season for him. 8-0. And some response. Considering Panathinaikos was a tough game, this feels a very strange result. As Jimenez breaks forward down the right-hand side, finds Joe Wills. Support from Sanhueza. His shot is blocked though. He finds Takatsuka on the right. Into Wills on a hat-trick off the bench. Over the bar. This game's felt a little easy. I won't lie to you. The expected goals almost up to 4, but we've only had 10 shots on target. We've scored 80% of them. Jimenez brings it forward in midfield again. I mean, arguably, the subs have made this team stronger as Perez down the right. Big cross to the box. Keach is up. Oh, he should have scored. Keach on his debut misses a sitter. It finishes 8-0. And after the shocking performance at the weekend, that was very much needed. Certainly puts us going through in the Europa League. 9 points out of 12. For the first time, we've won a game comfortably. Aston Villa win. They stay on 10 above us. Celtic and Hibs up there as well. There's a lot of progress from the British sides in this competition. For now, though, let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're going to be back. As Keach makes his professional debut and Adozi returns from injury in style. We are going to be back, I think, we'll go in mid-December because Derry City are doing really well in the Europa League. We're going to go away there in that game. And we'll also show Sheffield United after it. And then the one after that, we can do the double header against Napoli and against Lille. Or we can do the Liverpool game as well, depending on what's best. For now, though, let me know what you thought of those two very bizarre games. Because, to be honest, for a game and a half, we were brilliant. The injury seemed to affect us in the first game. But from that first to second half was just bonkers. It was almost as much of a contrast as Chelsea was the game before, where we were awful in the first half and brilliant in the second. But we've bounced back against Besiktas in style. We have got back into form at the start of November. And on paper, this month looks like being a very comfortable one. So let's hope we can live up to the billing. If you did enjoy this, finally seeing the save back, plenty of goals to enjoy on our first episode too. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the season and for our daily FM24 content from this save and the head coach, then do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. There's a link to yesterday's video for our return in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel and a busy Easter weekend from the football podcast. But thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you for your well wishes and for your patience the last couple of weeks. Hopefully the voice is returning for good and we'll be able to go on a run now. Let's see if this can be a special season. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out if we can progress in Europe.